right, thank you for tuning in, and welcome back to the Meet the Team podcast presented by USA Slalom Skateboarding. I am your host, Joe McLaren, joined by my co-host, Mr. Josh Bird. We're super excited today to be joined by Orion Lehrmann. Orion is a second-time qualifier for World Skate Games. He made the team in 2022 in Argentina, so stoked to have him back, stoked to see kind of where he's skating, and looking forward to watching him kill it for Team USA in Rome this year. So, Orion, how are you doing today, buddy?
Doing great. Yeah, I'm excited to talk.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. So, going back, we kind of touched on it a little bit in that intro, but you were part of the team in 2022 in Argentina. Just kind of in general, what was that experience like, and what was your time like out there in Argentina?
Yeah, honestly didn't even know what to expect going down there. We had an Airbnb with almost like half of Team USA. Some of them were other places, and to have, to be rooming with Colin and Kyle, people around my age, and then to be there with Lynn, who I've been skating with my whole life. It was just a lot of camaraderie that I've never experienced at any of the home races necessarily, because when you're at nationals, you're kind of at each other's necks, even though you love each other. Right. So going into this with like a common enemy, it was awesome. Just like getting Kyle to stretch for the first time in his life and not messing, but yeah, showing up to the race course and just everyone just nervous and excited at the same time. Colin's taking a bunch of videos. He's good at that. Then to have 3 different races, or no, 4, like a hybrid as the first division, which was my best division, and to go into that racing against Giannis in the qualifiers, thinking that I was gonna beat him. I was up all night thinking about it. I was like, oh, I've been training so hard. And then to get smoked by him by like 0.7 seconds was just like, oh, that's like, I don't think I could be. I think all the nerves went away after that, because the worst possible case scenario has already happened. So, well, I mean, the worst could be losing everything, but after that, I was like, okay, I know how fast everyone is now, or it's kind of a shocker, but still, that was supposed to be my best division, and then to go against Gustav's and then to get smoked by him. Or actually, I kept up with him until I slid out on one of the last cones, and so but that was my closest time to beating him. And then the next couple days, actually, tight and straight tight, I paired up against him in the round of 8 both times. So it was the Gustav story for me.
Yeah. Do you feel like leading up to this previous year's World Championships, where he came to the States, do you think that you kind of closed that gap a little bit from Argentina racing Gustav's and then seeing him stateside?
Oh, for sure. I remember looking back on the videos of me going against him, and then thinking that I was keeping up with him. And then about like halfway through my training between Argentina and this year's Worlds, analyzing the videos even more, I realized that he might have been taking it like a tiny bit easy, the same way that I do on other people sometimes. Or it's like I could tell that he was pacing me a little bit. I think at Worlds this year, I didn't see any pacing going on. So there was the closing the gap, and I also think that he got faster since last year.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just say that to make myself feel better. Yeah.
No, that's natural. And yeah, I haven't looked at the numbers exactly, the differences between you and him this past year versus in 2022. But it seems like both of you guys have a similar style and the similar speeds going on in the course. So that's just what I picked up on there.
Yeah, he's amazing because I keep my arms pretty like spread out like an eagle, and that helps me like generate a lot of speed in the beginning. And he's got his arms curled in, which makes it a little bit hard for him to generate some speed at the beginning. But then he's able to keep it compressed and keep efficiency, which
he keeps it quick on the lower half of the courses.
He catches up near the end.
Yeah, no, that all makes a lot of sense, and yeah, I definitely agree with you, Josh. That yeah, it seems like both of you guys kind of have really kind of stepped it up, and are both just killing it, both you and Gustavs. And so, we touched on it, I guess, a little bit, but I'd be curious just to learn a little bit more. It seems like sort of after Argentina, your motivation and your training and your level of skating like really went to a new level after that. And going into the 2023 season, obviously you started off in Texas with amazing victory there, and then skated great at nationals, and then had a great world showing. And it seems like you just sort of really like cemented your place as one of, like, undeniably one of the top 3 or 5 in the world right now, after Argentina. And what was sort of that shift for you?
Yeah, for sure. I think going to Argentina and thinking that I was gonna do well there, and then getting really smoked hard. It was tough on the morale of everyone there. It was like Kyle, me, Colin, all of us, we were saying like, oh, once we get on the podium, we're gonna like do this or something. We're talking about that at Argentina, because to see like 3 Latvians on the podium of like the first 3 events, and then I guess Pappas was second in GS, which was one of our wins, but that kind of just hurt like a lot. It just hurt. Yeah, like pretty bad. I was just I think that was part of the reason why I came into this year, 2023, just trying harder than I ever had before. Also 2022 was just one of the tougher years of my life ever in general. So like I've also kind of saw slalom as like a way to like prove to myself I could do something tough. So it was both of those things. I think like so after Argentina, I started going to the gym consistently, like let's say like 3 to 4 times a week. I'd fall out of it sometimes, but I was decently consistently going. I think I just wanted to gain some weight. That was my kind of bigger goal, was like gaining weight, because I just felt like I couldn't do that well in the giant slalom because of my weight, which turned out to not necessarily be the case. I think I was actually just not doing well at the giant slalom in Argentina. I think I was choosing the wrong lines. I was doing a lot of things wrong after I practiced a lot of GS. Anyways, but I think just, yeah, for sure, seeing the Latvians coming in athletic form, and I was just like skinny. I mean, I was strong. I'm 22, so I'm still like maturing, but I just wanted to get stronger. So I wasn't sure what to do other than go to the gym. I think I realized that like there was a plateau that was going to occur if I just kept slalom skateboarding every day and not supplementing it with something else. So I went to the gym leading up to the Texas race. I actually wasn't skating in Chicago because I went out to Chicago without my skateboards, but I thought I'm just going to be in the gym like swimming laps every day and lifting weights. And then I did well at the Texas race. And then
I mean, I think well would be a little bit of an understatement. You won the overall.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I think I did well into going into that one. And then I kept up what I was doing going into like nationals as well. And even going to nationals, I wasn't able to skate much because I was in Chicago. And then I beat you, Joe, in the hybrid. But then on like the second, on the tight and the GS, I like ran out of steam and didn't do as well as I wanted to. And I realized that like even what I was doing leading up to nationals wasn't enough. And then leading up to Worlds, I was like, all right, I gave it my all in training leading up to it. And I honestly didn't think I was going to do as well as I did, but I tried my best.
Yeah. I think you did a pretty good showing, especially within the American class. The whole idea of like stateside, when we have our races that are even main event races, it's one mindset going into it. But then when you start seeing some of the international racers come over and compete, you got to like rethink everything and kind of think further into your racing. It's a different mindset, which is really difficult to do because we get so comfortable racing each other and we kind of can know like where we're going to expect ourselves to place. But it's a whole different mentality. So I get you there. And like right now is considered the off season, kind of like in slalom, there's hardly an off season, but you went to Chicago last year during the off season without your boards and stuff.
Yeah.
But you still kept focusing on your goals and like the things you wanted to do to improve for when you got back on your board. And yeah, like you said, Texas, you showed up and showed out and you got first place overall. And that was a huge thing. And I feel like part of your fitness and your off-season goals helped you get there.
Yeah, actually, I wasn't even I wasn't even able to bring my boards to Chicago. It wasn't even a choice. And in fact, I was over there working in a boba shop, and you know how many weeks of paychecks went towards that Texas ticket, you know. And I was just trying to depend on getting that some sort of prize money to help me pay for it too. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's good. Well, what kind of things are you going to focus on over the next year, thinking about your like fitness goals and like some different things that you've been doing since even Texas that are a little different to help your slalom skating?
Oh yeah, I think there's, in the same way I was saying skateboarding, there's a plateau to like the speeds you can reach just doing that. I think there's also a plateau to how fast you can get just weightlifting. Just like, I think you need to have some more dynamic exercises being thrown in there. Box jumps, ropes, medicine balls. Then also what I've been doing a lot is just rotational core exercises. Yeah. Because it feels like that's kind of like the engine for slalom skateboarders is moving that shoulders back and forth. So there'll be that. And then also I'm going to make sure what's really important is setting up the different kinds of courses to what I've been setting. Because I'll go to my local hill here and I'll set up like 6 foot spacing. And it's like there is a maximum amount of pump energy that can be put into a 6 foot spacing. And then when you go to like these world venues and they have like 8 foot spacings and these guys are cranking high amounts of energy in their pumps and speeding ahead of you because you weren't practicing that. Yeah. It becomes sort of a problem. In fact, like only during the races did I figure out how to crank out that extra energy just by pure adrenaline. And once I like unlocked that feeling, I was like, okay, I need to start setting more courses that feel like this. Yeah. So just a lot of like looking at just over and over and over again, looking at videos of the races against people I've been racing against and seeing where they speed up on me and where I lose speed. And then probably setting courses that look similar to that and trying to figure it out. And I could explain a couple of those, but
yeah, that's one of the hardest things at races to adjust for is the type of courses people set. You'll never be ready for anyone's course. You kind of know some of the course setters' tendencies and the spacings and stuff, but that is one thing in slalom that I love, like showing up at practice the day of races and finding out how difficult the course is. Why did they do this weird cone over here? And that's one of the funnest things about slalom. But sure. It's something that you can try to practice for, but you'll never have it 100% down because they always want to throw you off, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And it is one of the cool things. It's like, and so many other sports are always played on, the same playing field. Like, you always know how far a football field is or whatever, but,
Mhm.
you go to different places and it's different courses, different hills, different asphalt. Like, everywhere you go is completely different. So it really, yeah, it's something that's really cool and unique about slalom. And I think that
Yeah.
that's, also what I think it really makes an amazing racer in my mind is somebody where
Mhm.
it's like you can adapt on the fly, and no matter what course you're on, you're gonna, you're skating at the same level. I think that that's really a huge
Mhm.
thing for great skaters.
Yeah, and even sports that are very close to slalom skateboarding, like downhill skating,
Hmm.
you have the runs are the road. So like people
Yeah,
know what to expect even if you haven't raced it before. You can watch
that's
videos
true.
and figure it out. And also like slalom skiing and slalom snowboarding, typically the mountains have predetermined courses that they know like where the flags are going to be in the snow. So it's even the things that are very close to slalom skateboarding are still not as strategizing and like adaptive as what we do. So yeah, it's really cool. I like
That's
that you brought that
yeah.
up.
That's what I think is really cool too, is that like you can beat people who are definitely faster and stronger than you if you just pick the most efficient pump for each pump or each
Yeah,
cone. Because like
right.
these people like archers, Petter, Toms, if it's straight tight, they probably smoke me, maybe, or like
Mm-hmm.
that's how it feels to me. But I think like I'm think they're stronger than me, but I think I can figure out some more optimal ways to do the pump sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
cool. Um, so this year, not only are you going to World Skate Games to represent the U.S., but so is your brother, Ocean Lehrmann, is on the USA team. Um, just curious, like, what that feeling is like being able to go again with your brother, and just kind of overall the just sort of experience and how that helped you growing up, having your dad and your brother both involved with slalom. Me and Josh, obviously, my dad and brother were involved in slalom. Josh, his sister Sarah, is going on Team USA as well, and his dad has been involved in slalom, so we all kind of have that connection. So yeah, I guess, what was that like, kind of growing up, and what is it like having him on the team? And
Yeah, for sure. I think growing up skating with my dad and my brother, my dad always had our best interests in mind, and same with Lynn. So we've been kind of maybe even babied growing up in the sport, like always having our setups being set up by Lynn and my dad. I had like no idea what even anything meant on my board until maybe like 4 years ago. So it was nice in that aspect, and then it's also nice to have people to skate with like all the time. Um, I think another sort of dynamic growing up with skating with them was I was always slower than my brother and my dad for a long, long time. It was kind of hard to keep. Sometimes it was kind of hard to keep morale growing up in the sport because I was always getting beat by my brother. I never even had a junior world title. I didn't even get my chance. But and then getting, yeah, and then also just, yeah, it was rare that I would be able to beat anyone until maybe I was like 15. So I think, but having that community there supporting you, and even being the youngest one on the hill is kind of like a fun thing to do because people are always kind of like, oh, there's the short ass kid, doing GS down Loretta Hill,
Yeah.
yeah.
you know.
But also like everybody is stoked to watch the juniors go
Yeah,
because like it's mind blowing some of the hills that we race. And so like as soon as the juniors go, everybody's like, "Oh, watch out.
yeah,
they're
especially
they're
Loretta,
going
man.
fast." So it's
Yeah.
really nice. Yeah. I,
And then
I
it's
totally
fun.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. And then also like I remember the first adult I beat was actually Chris Favreau in St. Louis. And I remember him saying on Facebook that like we're gonna murk the Cali boys. And I was like, my dad was getting really angry about it. And then to go there and to beat like him and not, that was awesome. That was like one of my high points when I was younger. Anyways, but yeah, having my brother by my side all the time is nice, to have someone to compare to be competitive with. And then it also brings us closer together as brothers. Like some of the most camaraderie me and my brother have ever had was just like leading up to this previous Worlds. And to be able to go to Rome with him, and hopefully my family can come along. But I just really want me and him to just do as well as we can. Just want us to push each other. Yeah, that's why I set up that, that Joe Mac board with the Rogues for him for Christmas, because I'm just trying to get him faster, trying to get him into the same place that I am. But yeah.
Yeah, I love that you guys are able to push each other. And I'm sure like you guys help each other out with kind of, like you said, setups, but also some technique stuff. And then just to kind of comment on what you said previously. Yeah, I think we both can relate to the junior struggle. You always want to beat the adults as well, because there's a ton in the adult class. So you're constantly racing them. But I was underweight. That's just the struggle with juniors. And it is a gravity sport. And so that's a very difficult thing to deal with while you're a junior. But now we can kind of push with a little more power with muscle and everything like that. So that's on our side in the adult class.
Yeah.
So we just talked about your family and brother and stuff. Is there anybody outside of that motivates you and inspires you in your skating, either within the slalom world or just in general?
I think within the slalom world, like growing up, everyone has like their own memory of the situation I'm going to explain growing up in slalom. And it's like seeing Joe race the finals against someone and beat them. It's like, I feel like everyone has that similar experience, because we all got into slalom through a certain race, and then we saw someone race the finals and we're like, oh, that is what, I felt like the pinnacle of slalom skateboarding. Just like I was young. I was maybe like 14 years old. It just shows you what level it can be taken to. So I think even when I was just seeing him at Loretta Street, I would see the way he pumps. How many world titles do you have?
8.
Yeah, I mean, you might have had like 5 back then, but like from my point of view, it was like this adult that was just racing really fast and had world titles. I was like, okay, that's the guy to look at. I didn't have anyone else really to look at other than to like maybe, I see how fast Richie was. It was insane. Also Lynn. And then I don't know if I ever saw any European people until Texas. And even then you were beating them. So it was like, so yeah, there was that is who I looked up to, as Joe right here, was like for slalom skateboarding. I was trying to imitate his pump. I was been trying to figure out like what he's been doing for like, I mean, how old am I now? 23. It's been like a decade of trying to figure out what he's doing, because and I can't believe I've kind of figured it out.
I still don't know. So yeah.
I don't know either. So if either of you guys figure it out, let me know too.
Yeah, I have a couple ideas, but yeah, it's like I couldn't figure out what he was doing it just for so long. And yeah, Joe's the guy I looked up to in the sport, and I always thought like when am I ever gonna be able to like race him? It felt like never, like, or I've raced you before, but like race you on your level. It felt like, because I've raced you like at Pump Station when I was like 15, and then even like 2019 nationals, but it was like I wasn't there yet. But so yeah, Joe was like in the slalom world for sure. I don't even, and then there's also Lynn for sure, you know, just like seeing her and the way that she takes care of her fitness and the way that she just stays consistent. There'd be no way I'm at where I'm at today if she wasn't like in my vicinity and also my friend, because like it feels like some people don't have that community. It becomes really hard for them to keep up. And then for me, it was like an easy, she's just always there. Even if I wanted to give up, she'd be there. So I was like, either I show up or I don't. So you always had someone to be there. And she was always taking interest in my equipment, or I'm just seeing what she's doing and just trying to like understand, you know, why she's at a certain level. So, and then who like better than like the two like greatest of all time in the sport to be looking up to, you know. It's nice to have them on our turf. And then outside of the skateboarding, it'd probably just be Kelly Slater, 11-time world champion in surfing. I'm really into surfing, and I don't, you know, he's perfectly rated. He's not overrated. He's the GOAT for a reason. So to see him take care of his fitness and stuff and to still be able to like surf at the level it is, and he's like 50 years old, it's like it inspires me to take care of my nutrition, my body. I stretch before I go to bed, and like just trying to stay up with that stuff. I'm just like, not only am I trying to be the best me, I'm trying to like do this stuff forever. So so yeah.
Yeah, those are great answers. Yeah, I think obviously a lot of people in slalom look up to Joe. I did until he started beating me. But you know, I'm just kidding. You know, you finally with Texas, like we were saying, first overall, you did beat Joe. So what was that kind of feeling like as they like called your name up to the awards? Like you beat Joe McLaren.
I think before I touch on how it felt to beat him, I want to talk about how it felt before.
Yeah, go for it.
You know, like walking up that ramp, I don't think I've ever been like more freaked out in my life, man. I think yeah, even going against Giannis Argentina, it's not the same. Of course, he's one of the greatest, but it's not the same as going against Joe. So that was scary. And then to beat him at Texas, I was like, I think I like, when I won the event, I think I cried going up the hill, because it was like, how it felt just in general was that like I've been doing something right this year. Like something I was, yeah, it was like confirmation that I had been doing the right thing, and I like it wasn't for nothing, because I wasn't sure where I was at. So it was nice to, and then yeah, it was just, I think I was just excited that like his back was better and that I could race him more after that. I'm just like, how many more? You know, I want to keep doing it. You know.
Yep.
I want to race everyone.
For sure. Well, thank you for all of those kind words. That, you know, obviously it means a lot to me, and you know, I'm really, you know, taken back by that. And it's I love seeing, you know, sort of the newer generation that's sort of coming up, like yourself and, you know, some of the other younger pros that are sort of coming up through the ranks, both in the US and worldwide. And, you know, being able to know that I made at least a little bit of an impact on any of you guys means a ton to me. And I love seeing that. And, you know, and it's really cool for me too, you know, now seeing you and being able to, you know, we work together a little bit on, you know, some different training and coaching type stuff, me and Orion, and, you know, being able to give back and be in that position, and then see you come up, and to see you beat me was super cool for me. And it was really seeing you two in the finals at Worlds this last year was just such a cool feeling for me. It's like, almost like passing the torch down. And I actually, shed a little bit of a tear when I saw you go forward to the finals. I was like, wow, this is really cool.
Hey man, you're still holding the torch, bro. You're with us, man. Come on.
I'm trying. I still at least have at least a finger on the torch. I used to be holding it. Now I just,
hey, we're all holding it together.
Have a little finger on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it's cool, and yeah, I appreciate that.
And I appreciated that Gatorade on the way up, man. I was so in the zone, but yeah.
So looking forward to Rome, what are you kind of looking forward to the most? Whether that's something in particular with the skating, something like a particular food or sightseeing or something like that. What are just some things that you're kind of looking forward to that trip?
Yeah, for sure. I think I've never been to Europe before, so it's going to be my first time going there. So I don't even know what to expect. I haven't done my research yet. I should probably be looking into things. I kind of show up to these races, and the only thing that's on my mind is actually racing, though, unfortunately. I probably should be looking into more things, and I'm going to try to make an effort this time. But in my mind, I'm not even thinking about what's in Rome. I'm only thinking about the racing at this moment. So I think I'm just excited to I'm excited for everyone to show up to Rome. It felt like some people didn't show up to Argentina for random reasons. They weren't sure how it's going to go. And I had no idea what it was going into Argentina. I kind of competed in Oregon, trying to qualify on a whim. I was just like, I think I can do it, so I'm going to do it. I didn't know it was going to be how freaking cool it was. So I think what I'm excited about most is going there, and everyone had their chance to see it on the live stream, so everyone that wants to go is going. And I think I just hope that the level is higher than it's ever been before, because I want to go against the best people in the world, and I want to really see where I am at. And I'm excited. I think the other thing I'm excited about is just the same thing. It's just hopefully a repeat of Argentina, with the camaraderie among the teammates is just so much fun to be able to go see, to travel around the city and go experience new things with your friends. Because, these people we see, even if we live far away from each other, they're the homies, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would totally recommend. I totally get the mindset of focus on the racing, and you don't want too much, especially when you get over to Italy, you want to be just zoned in until the racing's done. But I do recommend try to look up some things and stay a few days after and kind of see some of the big cities, at least Rome.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I'm planning to do that, and I have a little Italian book that I've started reading and stuff. So hopefully that helps. I'm not really great at learning other languages, but we'll see. But yeah, that'd be super cool. And yeah, you said something earlier about an us versus them type of thing that you guys got in the mindset when you guys went to Argentina. And I feel like that's really good for a team. You don't want to keep that mindset, obviously, but it's a really good mindset to have as a team. It kind of pulls everybody together and almost has a full team effort to uplift each racer, just morality wise.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. And I think we're going to have a pretty big team this time. So I'm excited to see how everybody sticks together and kind of does that and helps one another.
With the camaraderie among the US, it's also, I don't know if I've touched on this, but it's also really freaking cool to see Japan and Australia and see oh man, dude, I'm I still message the Japanese skaters today, And like just on Instagram, they're asking me for like advice, or we just want to talk about skateboarding. Like I had Ryusei reach out to me after he saw how I did at Worlds and asked me how could I get faster. And I was like, I'm pretty young and I'm still kind of fresh, but I'll tell you what I know, So I just honestly, even just camaraderie among US, I'm also just, I don't care. I just want I want everyone to be fast. So like a camaraderie among all slalom skateboarders when we go there. And I want everyone to do their best because I don't want to be, I want to win, but I also want to win when everyone's doing well, So
right. Yeah, no, I think that's really cool. And I think that sort of camaraderie and sort of team mentality for World Skate Games and Team USA is really cool, especially in such a sort of individual sport. It's not really something where we have much of like that team aspect and really, helping each other outside of our own, little crews that we, generally travel with or skate with on more of a daily basis. It's really kind of a little bit more of an individual thing. So I think that's something that's really unique about that in our sport going to World Skate Games. And, what was it like and what does it mean to you from that sort of standpoint to represent your country? That must be, a pretty cool feeling. I know it is for me.
Yeah, I think it's kind of awesome because to represent your country, you talk to like, it's so cool to be able to tell your friends and your family what you're doing. Like you're going to the World Skate Games to represent the USA. And
it's hard to put it into words, but I think everyone can kind of tell just by your emotion and sort of speechlessness how much it means to you. But it's a hard thing to put into words. I know, obviously I wasn't able to actually go to World Skate Games last year, but I was still on Team USA and, still had that feeling and have that feeling now. And it's something it's hard to put into words, but it means a lot.
Yeah, it's cool because like as I'm competing there, it feels like I'm doing it for everyone back home. I don't know. It's like
right. It's like bigger than
it's bigger than me.
Bigger than just yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today, Orion. It was great talking with you. It's awesome to see just your progression and just seeing you kind of really make a real name for yourself, as one of the top skaters in the world. And we're looking forward to having you represent the U.S. and looking forward to a great season in 2024 and a great showing at World Skate Games in Rome. So, we're super excited, stoked to have you. And
thanks for having me on. It was awesome. I enjoyed this a lot.
Yeah,
it was like skateboard therapy.
Yeah. Maybe we'll rename the show to Skateboard Therapy. Nice. No, but thank you. It was our pleasure. So, and if anybody wants to support Orion, support Team USA, or support USA Slalom Skateboarding as an organization, or just learn more about slalom and what we have going on, please visit usaslalomskateboarding.com. USA Slalom Skateboarding Inc. is a 501c3 organization. All donations are tax deductible, absent of any limitations on deductibility applicable to a particular taxpayer. So please go to usaslalomskateboarding.com, support Team USA, support Orion, and thank you.